Hi guys, welcome back to CBCP News Conversation. Ako si Nico Balbidina, and today I have a very special guest. No, I think this would be the first of many episodes na may guest tayo from international. No, so I'm here with Kuya Manu, and he will introduce himself, no, to all of you. So Manu.
Well, my name is Emmanuel Muinde Mutua. You can call me Manu, it's easier. I am Kenyan from East Africa, and I'm also a missionary of Couples for Christ.
Okay, so Manu, let's get right into the point. No, can you tell us about what a missionary does?
Good question. Well, I think a missionary, more than the tasks given to him or her, and striving to be that every day, is a person who can be looked upon, and a person of prayer, a person who, despite the many weaknesses and faults, tries to become a better person. So, in essence, everyone is a missionary. But in this particular or specific thing, being a lay missionary of Couples for Christ calls me to bring Couples for Christ to different people who may not have the time or have, for other different reasons, they cannot give all their time to the mission. They may be members of Couples for Christ or not. And so I do the 8 to 5 job.
8 to 5,
yeah, for
It's
Couples
full-time.
for
It's a
Christ,
full-time
yes,
work.
full-time worker. And then during weekends and evenings, everyone else comes. Yeah.
So, how long have you been doing this? How long have you been a full-time worker for the CFC?
Since 1st May of 2007. I make fun of it. I say it was on a Labor Day, and it was for the labor of the Lord.
That's very good. That's very
Yeah.
good. So, what are the differences, that you took before you became a missionary? How did you take these differences? How did you change the changes that you took for you to become a missionary?
Well, to start with, before I was born, my mother always wanted to have a son. And that was her prayer, and that the son will be dedicated for the Lord's work. And when she was pregnant, carrying me in her womb every day, she said the rosary and wanted to dedicate me to God. And that's why she called me Emmanuel. So she'd said she'll name me Emmanuel after Jesus. Well, she didn't know that she could call me Jesus. Thankfully enough, she didn't. No, on a light note. But my father wanted me to be called Kennedy. After John F. Kennedy. Yeah, so when my mother said this to her, and it was okay, and that is what became of me. So deep down in me, I always wanted to serve, of course, with many troubles, trying to be perfect and realizing that I cannot be perfect. But what really led me into this was the love to reach out, to go out in person, to use the talents that God has given me to bring hope to families. There are many groups that have lay missionaries in them, but why Couples for Christ? Because it would reach out families. And with the time I joined Couples for Christ was a time that we had crisis in my own family. So it was an answer, and something that gave me hope, and I wanted to share the same hope to others.
So you use this crisis to fuel your passion into serving others?
Not necessarily. See, when God is calling us, He uses different signs and different ways to speak to us. And me being who I am, sometimes I don't listen. And I think His signpost or His way of calling me was through a crisis. To different people, God speaks in different ways, I believe.
I understand that. It's very good, no, that you. Well, I think it's very good then for someone to to have been raised in a family that has a special devotion to Christ and who understands how important the family is. So so far, what have been the greatest stories that you have encountered as a missionary for God?
I think one of the greatest, number one, was in my own family. I remember my mother told me that, see, when you choose to serve the Lord, they are always, the first people to oppose you are your family members. And true enough, when I told them I would want to go full-time with Couples for Christ, there were these comparisons. Corporate world pays better. Why would you want to become a missionary? But then she came back to realization, good thing, and she told me, see, you have to serve the Lord. And I always wanted you to do that. And I know you can serve the Lord in different ways, but her dream for me, and I'm not living her dream, at the same time, it's also my passion, was for me to really serve full-time. You can serve the Lord being a presenter. You can serve the Lord being a politician.
Yeah.
You can serve the Lord being, a teacher. There's a difference between using the service of the Lord as work and working for the Lord. And I try to differentiate and make that difference. There's working for the church and there's working for the Lord. Two different things.
It's very good then for you to have discerned that much for you to even consider working full-time as a missionary. And I like what you said, that you don't really have to be strictly tied to church work for you to say that you're serving the Lord.
No, yeah, you don't have
Well, did you have a job before you?
Oh yes, I did a few things. Sang with a band. At the same time, I worked in a radio station for some time. I studied journalism and mass communication.
That's good.
So I did a few shows here and there. At the same time, I also acted at the Kenya National Theatre. I got a few opportunities and chances to take roles in a TV show, a sitcom. And what else? I was also a secretary in my parish.
Nice.
Yes.
So I did not know that I was going to interview a celebrity, a Kenyan celebrity.
No. I'm not a celebrity by any measure. Those were just very random roles. I don't know if anyone can remember. That was in early 2000s.
Early 2000s.
Yes. Well, a few of my friends would listen to the radio because they knew I would be on this show, which used to go. It was called Climbing Higher. So it was a Christian show for the youth, and it was produced by Transworld Radio. But then Transworld didn't have their own radio station, so they would sell it out to other stations. And back then it was a radio station called Family Radio. Now I think it's called Radio 316.
So the missionary work you do for CFC, does this have anything to do with the job that you did before you became CFC? Is this media related or?
No. But do I use my communication skills? Yes, every day. I think the platform led me to really learn how to package myself, to package whatever it is I have to offer, and the material that I have. At the same time, it takes a lot of faith. Someone made fun and said, if you're a radio presenter, you really have a lot of faith. You're speaking behind a mic and thinking you're speaking to 1 million people. Takes a lot of faith. Well, it's in a very light way, but at the same time, when I'm speaking to people, could be 2, 10, 100, I'm hoping that I'm speaking to their souls. And sure enough, the Lord does in his own way. It's not me. I'm just a vessel.
That's very good. So now we talked about, now you just talked about the greatest story that you could have possibly shared. What are the setbacks? What are the challenges that you've encountered as a Christian missionary for the CFC?
I wouldn't say, not really setbacks. While trying to live out and give this message of hope to other families, there's always a danger, and I thank God that Couples for Christ tries to work so much on that. There's always a danger of neglecting your own family while trying to save other families. Yes. So, good thing I have a good head, and we get to have one-to-ones, and he always asks about my family, and if there's any emergency, family comes first. There's nothing too important for him. If my son is sick, or my daughter is sick, or my wife, by the way, I'm married to one wife and with 4 children. Okay. So if any of them is sick, you'll be like, we can always find another speaker. We can always find someone else to replace you.
Well, the family always comes first.
Yes. No one can replace you in your family. So family comes first. And that's what I thank the Lord for.
What exactly does a missionary, well, your role as a missionary, what exactly do you do? How does your day start as a missionary?
I don't have a typical day
Mm-hmm.
in a very good sense, but in any given day, I would wake up at 5 a.m. And then I spend some time in prayer and then exercise, physical. It's important for us as missionaries also to take care of our physical bodies because we are serving people. We don't want to collapse when we're
They're
serving.
serving, yeah.
Yes, and then after that, I get into proper prayer because the opening prayer is usually a short one, like maybe 5-10 minutes, exercise for 20-30 minutes. Then read the scripture, do some meditation, and then from there, now it differs. So most of the time, I would be visiting parishes, I would be visiting schools with the different programs that we have for kids, youth, singles. I have one-to-ones with the leaders, with couples, studying materials so that I can prepare myself. But more than anything, of course, it's to really prepare for the different programs that we have, to walk the journey with the people. I think it's almost like social work. You have to walk with the people. It's not really about giving seminars, which happens. It's not about giving retreats and recollections, which happens, but it's walking the walk with the people. I think it's really becoming a live witness. Not that I am perfect. There are many people who are better than me and are just mothers at home, or fathers at home, or taxi drivers. But it's a platform that I've been given by the Lord, which allows me to go around and meet families and share my story with them and listen to their stories, and we walk in this journey together.
That's very good. I understand now that in the years you've been doing this, you've also served alongside many Filipinos.
Oh, yes, yes. Talking of many Filipinos. And Couples for Christ really began in the Philippines. And when it came to Kenya, the missionaries who were sent to Kenya were Filipinos, of course. There was always, like culture shock. I would see certain things that they would do that were not. They are Christian, but they're not what I would call my culture. I mean, I wouldn't say African culture. When we talk about Africa, it's not a village. Even I wouldn't say Kenyan culture, but the general or the culture of us as Kenyans. I remember one time this missionary was asked by CFC, "Could you please change attire for me?" She was like, "I'm a girl. How would you ask me that?" But for us, well, maybe that was a little bit extreme. Women do work hard. We have women who really work hard, and it was a laughable matter because for me, it was like, why would you want to complain? Anyone can do anything. Only to realize later on that women here are treated as queens. Well, not that we don't treat women, not that we don't treat our women like queens, but we all work. We love work, and we don't really have so much of a difference between the work between male and females. There is. We have to go into that. I don't want to get lashed out, but the truth is that our African women, and I give thanks to that, they really do work hard, and some of the things that they do, maybe in the villages and all that. So maybe that kind of lady who came looking at it, she'd be like, wow, they are being overworked, or that's like slavery or something, but it's just giving to the family. But even the men do work hard. Other things would be like, for example, eating at the table. Maybe it's the general thing, but for us in our family, we grew up, when you finish eating, you take your plate to the kitchen, do whatever it is. But I would notice with the Filipinos, since I'm a slow eater, they have to wait for me. They're like, Manu, you need to hurry up. Now, you can bring your plates to the kitchen.
That's how Filipinos are.
The thing is, they have to eat together and leave the table together. For us, it's eat, finish, bring it, and you're looking at your time, and it's nothing bad. It's not like we are disrespectful. It's, if I'm tight, I just need to eat faster and get to what I'm doing. If I have time, I'll eat while talking and spend some time. So yeah, those differences
So
sometimes.
Filipinos are like that. They like working as a group. They like moving as a
Yeah.
group. And
Well, we work as a group. We are very communal people, but circumstances differ. We are not that strict. Well, I grew up in the city, Nairobi. Maybe things might be different. When I speak again, I want to clarify that I'm not speaking for Africa. I'm just speaking
For your
from the
own.
background that I grew up in. Yeah.
It's very good. We're just about to come to the end of our conversation, and
Yes.
I've picked up so many, so many things today from this very short
I
conversation.
hope good things.
Well, most of them. I'm just kidding. All of them, of course. They're all good things. So right now, for the hundreds watching us now, some of my friends, I knew a lot of people who really consider to become missionaries, but
Yes.
have a lot of reservations.
Oh.
Some of them consider their family. Some of them consider the financial risk, the safety
Yes,
risk.
yes.
As someone who took the risk and worked for the Lord, what can you tell them?
For those of you who want to become full-time missionaries, because I want to believe mission has to begin in you even before you take it full-time. One, you have to be very prayerful. You have to live a life of prayer. Prayer should cease from being an event to a lifestyle. You need to be a person who is also very discerning, because there are times that you'll be called to make decisions that are hard to make. And please do not fear. I know missionaries who came, and especially to Africa, and their families would be, no, you'd be eaten by a lion. This would happen. No, Africa is not a village. Africa is different. There are different places, different experiences, just like any part of the world. Please come and serve. You can serve where you are. You can serve in the Philippines or wherever you are watching from the world. But don't be afraid. When it comes to finances, that was always my question. But God has a way of providing. I'm not saying we become reckless or lazy or just, hope that things would go, but you'll always find a way. My wife is not full-time, so probably she could engage in some business. If time allows, sometimes I may do some business. At the moment, I don't do any business. My business is fully to the service of couples for Christ. But again, we can live simple lives. All we need is 3 square meals, a bed, good education, good health, and a good relationship with God and with our neighbor. And the rest of the things really do come. I think if you consider those things and you're not too ambitious, and there's nothing wrong with becoming rich, you are on the path to becoming a missionary. It reminds me of the story of the young rich man who came to Jesus and asked, what should I do to follow you? And he had obeyed all the laws, and he says, go and sell everything and follow me. It was too difficult for him. I'm not saying sell everything, but I think God's message or Jesus' message to this person was, detach yourself from these things. So we have these things, but we are just stewards. We do not own them. My mind should not be on when I lose money or when I get money, or when I should detach myself from these things and consider God as the most important person, and my family and my service.
It's very nice to have been given the opportunity, to have been blessed with the opportunity to talk to someone that is this passionate about serving the Lord.
It was all my pleasure. I thank you for that opportunity.
Okay. So, yun mga kapatid, I like that it's very interesting to be able to talk to someone and to have also been encouraged by someone to take that step and become a missionary for the Lord. I like also the idea that it all starts with one courageous step, taking the risk, and just do it for God.
Yeah.
I like it.
It's all for Jesus.
It's all for
My
Jesus.
tagline is always, only Jesus.
Only Jesus.
Only Jesus. Maybe I'll write these stories. You may check on a blog that I've not worked on for long. I should put this. It's called Ghetto Pulpit.
Yeah, so we'd be expecting that.
G-E-T-T-O-H and Pulpit, P-U-L-P-I-T.
Okay, we'll be expecting that very soon.
Look
I
forward
hope.
to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there you have it. This has been CBCP News Conversations. Once again, my name is Nico Balbidina and I'm with
Emmanuel Muinde. You can call me Manu.
See you again very soon.